Alright, how you guys doing? My name's Chad, and what I'm going to do is go have a quick video here of about using external batteries with a Sony X3000 action camera. I've been doing, some research online about, maybe through some forums and that on, hey, can you use an external battery with this camera? Can you not? How do you do it? I've been getting mixed results, anything from it won't work, doesn't work, absolutely not, to yes you can. There really wasn't a definitive answer that I found on whether or not you can use an external battery. So I did do some research on YouTube. Found this guy named Jeff, fellow Jeeper, and he has an older action camera, and he was able to hook up a Jackery battery, an external battery to his. I'll go and post the link down below in the description. But he was able to run his older action camera off of a external battery. So with that information, I ordered my camera, ordered my batteries, and I was able to get it to work. So if you don't want to, watch the rest of this video and you want to, just yes or no answer, yes you can, as long as in the settings in your camera, under the camera settings, you have the USB power supply function on. You have to have that on in order to use an external battery with this camera. But I noticed the camera also has some other battery characteristics that, let's say if you have it plugged into a laptop, it does this, and you plug it in an external battery, it does this, plug it in a wall, it does this. I've noticed some, like I said, just different characteristics on how the camera behaves when different power, sources are used. So I'll just go ahead and kind of try and fly through these pretty quick, so we'll get you guys on your way. So first thing, like I said, you need to get your camera set up so it receives USB power through the that back middle port. Now I have my cover taken off. My buddy Everide on the Everide channel, he's got a good write-up on how to do this. I'll put a link down below. But for me, I throw mine in the in the protective case, but I've got some holes drilled out in the back. So because I use it on my motorcycle, I want it in the case, but I want to be able to plug in an external mic and plus have my external battery plugged in. So yeah, my case isn't waterproof no more, but I use it more for keeping the dust off, protecting the camera in case I whack a tree or something like that. So so yeah, so let's get to these settings here. So this is my instruction manual that came with the camera, and right down here I got it marked here. So USB power supply, you want that on, alright, and that's under the camera settings. So once you have that on, then your camera will behave as I'm about to show you here. So let me go ahead and alright, so there's my laptop here. I've got it plugged into my let's say the cord that came with the camera. I'll just plug it into it, and you'll see what it does. So right now, as you can see, it's running on the battery. I've had it on for a little bit now, but let me go ahead and plug it in, and you'll see that battery indicator will have a little plug on the side. So we'll plug it into the laptop. Let's see what it does here. Hang on. Now I apologize here. I'm using my cell phone. I got the third hand going, so it's kind of hard to hold this bad boy steady and get everything plugged in and what have you. So hang on here. Alright, so when you plug it into your laptop, you can see on the battery indicator there, it's got a little bitty plug down, a little tail right at the bottom of the battery indicator there. Right, so it's saying it's plugged into USB. I can transfer files, what have you. And now the power is coming from the laptop, so I won't be draining my battery anymore. The camera is on. Now if I turn the camera off, you should have the orange indicator should come on in the back, and it'll start there it goes. Now it's going to start charging. So it's plugged into the computer, it's charging. But notice I cannot record video with it plugged into the laptop. It won't let you. Alright, it's just one of the things that I noticed. You can't plug it into the laptop use the power from the laptop and record a video. Not going to happen. So what it's going to do is it's going to want to like transfer your files or what have you. So that's the first thing I noticed. So this cord plugged into the laptop, yeah, that's what's going to happen. So can't record video, but while it's transferring files, you're going to get your power from the laptop, and you won't drain your battery anymore. All right. And then when you turn the camera off, boom, your battery charges. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go through some other, power options that we have. So we cover the laptop. What happens when you plug the camera into the laptop? What we'll do now is I'll cover what happens when, let's say you charge the camera, like plug it in, let's say through a wall outlet. So my old cell phone came with this charger. It's got a USB port in the back that you can plug plug the USB cable right into the plug, and the plug goes into into the outlet. Now this charges at, I think, 2.1 amps, but we'll get this plugged into the camera. So I got a little power source up here, and on the other end here, yeah, so I got power going. So let me go ahead and plug this in the camera. Let's see what it does. So right now, as the camera sits, I'm draining my battery. Notice there's no little plug below the battery indicator. So right now, as the camera sits, it's just sitting there enjoying life, draining my battery. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, and then what you'll see is that little plug indicator is going to kick on there below the battery indicator. So let's go ahead and get this guy in here just a second. Here we go. Chappelle plugged in. All right, so I'm starting to lose a little bit of juice there, but you can see, even though my battery's down a little bit, there is a little plug below the battery indicator, and that basically means that power is coming from the USB source, which is where it's plugged in right now. So I can record video, turn it on, boom. Look at that, recording video of my hand, which is pretty awesome. I'm not going to post that video though. So I can stop it. There we go. And then what I can do now is, with it plugged in, like I said, you can record video with it plugged in through the wall plug. Now if I turn the camera off, shazow, look at that. The battery indicator should kick on. There it is. So what that basically means is the camera is now being charged by the USB source. One thing to keep in mind is that, when that indicator's on, that means the battery is getting charged. Now that indicator will not kick on with the camera on. All right. So once the camera's on, it will no longer, charge the internal, the battery that's in the camera. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's kind of how it behaves, whether it's plugged into a battery or plugged directly into the wall plug. You can't record video and charge the battery at the same time. Now you can use your battery or your external battery, and you can use your wall plug power to run the camera, but you can't run the camera and charge the battery at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Okay, so like Jeff, like I said, he put or hooked up a Jackery battery to his camera, his older Sony Action camera, and so that's why I kind of went with the same brand, because I wasn't sure if it was going to work with the newer X3000. So I can tell you that it does work. Now, so this one here I bought off of Amazon, and of course it has two little ports on this side. One of them, the in is basically how you charge the battery, and then the out basically supplies power to the camera. So what these are mainly designed for is to charge your cell phone when your battery doesn't run out. So those of you that can't get off your cell phones and you need the extra batteries when you're out and about, that's usually why people buy these. These come in various sizes, various flavors. So what I just want to mention is that when you do buy one of these batteries to work with your Sony Action camera, you know, see how it says the 2.1 amps down there, 5 volt, 2.1 amps. You want to make sure that you get one of these batteries that has the 2.1 amps on it. Now, some of them have outputs for like 1 amp, but you want to make sure yours has a 2.1 amp output on it. So you can see that, you know, right down there in the end there. So some batteries actually have both. So just make sure that when you plug it into the camera, you got the 2.1 amps. That'll work a lot better for you. Would it work on the 1 amp? I have no idea, but I just know that the one I'm using, 2.1 amps on it. Here's the box. Battery came in. Like I said, bought it off of Amazon. This one, as far as size goes, it looks like it's 6,000 milliamp hours. That's basically the size of it. Comparison, the stock batteries are 1,600 milliamp hours that you put in the camera. So I'll get to length later as far as how long you can record or what have you. So I hooked this up to the camera. So I want to mount this later on. I haven't mounted it to my helmet yet, but I will basically mount it with some probably dual lock on the back, and then, you know, slap it right on the helmet. But let me hook this up to the camera, and then you'll see that. Turn the camera on here. You'll see. So right now, nothing's hooked up to the camera. It's going to run off of its internal battery. So let me go ahead and plug it into the camera, and you can check it out here. All right, there you go. So you can see that, you know, I do have it plugged into my external battery. It's plugged into the camera, and the battery, you know, the battery supply, you know, the battery power is coming from the external battery, not the internal battery. So now if I turn this camera off, you'll see that the charging indicator in the back should kick on here. There it goes. So now it's charging the camera up. So, you know, if I can turn it back on. There you go. Little battery indicators on there. If I unplug it, there goes away. Now it's using the battery that's inside the camera. So can you use an external battery? Yes, you can, but like I said, you got to go through the menu and set your camera up accordingly so that it will accept power from USB source. So as far as, like, you know, how long can I record with my external battery? So kind of got to do a little math. So like I said, the original batteries, you know, you got the 1,600 milliamp hours down there at the bottom. With 1,600 milliamp hours, I can record, you know, based on how I use the camera, based on the settings, the video settings I have the camera on, I can record probably about 90 minutes of video, sometimes less. Just depends on, am I starting and stopping, you know, a bunch of times, or if I have, you know, depending on what record settings I have. And I think I'm doing the 1080p at, looks like 60p. As far as frames per second and that. So, you know, depending on your settings, depends on how long your battery life goes. So basically do the math, 1,600 milliamp battery, you know, yields me about, like I said, 90 minutes of record time. Now this battery is, you know, like I said on the box here, 6,000 milliamp hours. So if you take 6,000 divided by 1,600, you know, it's going to get you, you know, what, 3.75. You know, if you do the math, it's about 3.75. So basically, it's 3.7 times bigger than, you know, the 1,600 milliamp battery. So I take that times 3.75 times 90, that gives me basically 337.5 minutes of record time, which, you know, divide that by 60, it gets you about 5.6 hours of record time from this battery. So, you know, stock battery, or the battery that comes with the camera, 90 minutes, and about probably 5.5 hours on the external battery. So hope that helps you guys out. You know, leave me some comments, questions, or what have you. I'll try and answer them. But, you know, like I said, happy trails, guys.